Recently, I went on a long journey. I'm not actually allowed to tell you where. It could have been Toronto, Cape Town, Kuala Lumpur, Macau. But the fact is, it doesn't really matter where I went because when all is said and done, I wasn't really ever there. Let me explain. A few weeks ago, I got asked if I'd like to go somewhere to do a work thing. I would. The past year or so hasn't been as cruel to me as it's been to a lot of people. I'm safe, fed, and sure, all of my work evaporated, but being at home with my wife and my cat was pretty nice. But a part of me loves, perhaps needs, to travel. So, to get the chance to go somewhere new, see things I haven't seen before, get lost, skin my knee, chalk up another destination, another adventure, a story to tell? Yes, please. So, off I go. My trip involves more than one flight. The airports and planes are quiet and comfortable. It's all very pleasant unless you stop to think about why. I get tested at every stage of my journey. When I change planes, the handful of us travelling are surrounded by staff in full-body hazmat suits, masks, gloves, glasses. We're taken to a holding area. My green wristband means I'm not allowed anywhere else, so I sit in the room of bad carpet and empty vending machines for 8 hours. It's easy to see this as some kind of dystopian nightmare, and that's certainly where the anti-mask idiots have jumped off from. The only reference point most of us have for this kind of stuff is bad movies, so our brains find it easy to think that we're in one. Of course, in reality, for all the minor discomfort it's causing privileged people like me, this is a serious thing, being taken seriously. Good. I arrive at my final destination and plunge into a few more hours of slow-motion queues, health screenings, temperature checks, interviews about my medical history and reasons for travelling, and then I'm taken to a bus by a group of soldiers in full combat gear and driven to a hotel. A policeman gets on the bus and stands by the driver, reading from a laminated script the rules of the next 2 weeks of my life. And then I'm processed, logged, given a little brown paper bag with some breakfast in, and taken to my room. And as we go there, I realise I don't have a key, because of course I won't need one, because of course I'm not allowed to leave. Three times a day I get a knock on my door, and by the time I open it there's nobody there, but there is a little bag of food waiting for me. The meals are generally functional, sometimes less so, but that's why Odin gave us Deliveroo. Also, I paid extra to hire an espresso machine, because of course I did. And that's me for 2 weeks. Anthony Bourdain once said, "Is it worse to be lonely somewhere awful or somewhere nice?" I've spent a lot of my life in hotels, so it's not so bad. I know how to do it. I know how beneficial a routine can be, so I do yoga every day, devote a couple of hours in the afternoon to writing, and fill the rest of my time with various other pursuits. The whole thing, of course, is made easier by knowing that once my isolation is complete, I get to go and have my adventure, to do my thing, to get back to work. The time doesn't fly by, but it passes. Toward the end of week 2, though, I get a call. Circumstances have changed. The COVID numbers are trending in the wrong direction. The thing that I was here to do is now not happening. Everyone is very apologetic, but they don't need to be. It's not their fault. The story of last year was that everything has been cancelled, a flat deletion of activity. But this year seems to be a case of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, if we're lucky. A year of plans changing at the last minute, of opening and closing and not really being sure what the right thing is, of not knowing what's defined as confidence and safety and what's more likely blinkered wishful thinking. Luckily, I'm a clown, and clowns are good at knowing when their pain is funny. I giggle as I pack to go home. What a beautiful devilish trick to get pulled. After months of not being allowed to go anywhere or hang out with anyone outside my house, I travel halfway around the world to not be allowed to go anywhere or hang out with anyone outside my room. I've travelled somewhere, but I didn't really go there. For 2 weeks I lived in a comfortably bland liminal space. Not my origin, but also not my destination. Waiting to serve my time in the limbo hotel before completing the last few inches of my journey and finally arriving. But at the last minute, nope. I have my last COVID test for my arrival and then immediately have another for my departure. And then off I go, homeward bound on another quiet plane. Well, I wanted an adventure, to do something I hadn't done before, something that might make a good story. So, I'll take it.